Welcome to Money Hangout. Every week we talk about an important issue about investments or savings, and I try and answer as many questions that you send, and we help you learn mutual funds. This is brought to you by Birla Sun Life and Value Research. Today we are going to talk about something which is I have talked about it earlier, the first mover advantage, the rewards of starting early, and how you can why it is important. And I'll just give you an example and an illustration just to reinforce the idea. It looks too simple an idea, and but the impact of that done over a period of time is so significant that you need to really take it to your heart. We often come across the rags to riches story, the people who founded their business, or somebody just ended up with something which came their way and they became wealthy. We are not talking about any of those. I'm not talking about founding a business. How can ordinary people build something substantial, be well off with their normal savings, and what is the secret of that? How you can do it? The doability and the simplicity of it is what matters. And this is how. So, two people graduated at the age of 25. The first person started investing 10,000 rupees from month one, first day, first month, first income, and continued doing that for 30 years. No increase in earnings, no increase in investments. He just continued doing that. He invested 36 lakh rupees over the next 30 years. His friend who passed out kept spending all the money for the first 15 years, and then to catch up with his friend, he started investing 20,000 rupees every month for the next 15 years. And he kept doing that for 15 years, despite investing as much, twice as much. He was able to accumulate to about 80 lakh rupees. This is assuming the return that both investments earned. Both investments earned as much return, and only 10%. So with that, his accumulation was 80 lakh rupees. And in case of the other person who did it continually for 30 years, in investing 30 same amount, 36 lakh rupees, that accumulated to about 2 crore. So this is the difference that you see. 20,000 rupee invested in the next 15 years accumulated to 80 lakhs, which is substantially less than 2 crore, which also earned 10% on the 10,000 rupee invested continually over the 30-year period. So the biggest differentiator is discipline, regularity, and time. Time is a very magical thing. It actually does the magic of compounding. It's often attributed to Einstein that I'm not sure if it's true, that he considered compounding as the eighth wonder of the world, and it really is. Money earning return, and the return earning return as well, and that compounds over a period. If you are able to double your money 3-4 years, the money that you accumulate, and so the money to really accumulate into something substantial, all it needs is its time and reasonable compounding pace. So this is something obvious, but why do people don't invest, and why do people not save? Many a times people save, and then the problem is that they don't invest. Their money doesn't work hard enough. That's one problem. But the primary problem is that people just don't save. In the initial years, it is understandable that you have just, it's simply the economic theory, or theory at which one can see that you have too many needs and too few resources, and you think that you cannot really defer your consumption right now or your spending right now. But I think in the early years of your early years of your career, if you don't do that in any manner, with even a very insignificant amount of your savings, if you're not able to save and invest, you don't fall in that habit. And once you are habitual, you become habitual about spending all that you earn, the process does not start. I keep getting complaint about, whenever I put a tweet about something about the retirement issues and the pension and the problem that we might encounter, or the next generation, that will say, will face, or how to really plan for income in your retirement or investing for your retirement. Many people complain that given the inflation, it is very hard for people to actually make ends meet. So how can they save? But my understanding is that it is not about your earning or your spending. It is more about habit, and even little bit, if not 10% of your earning, 5% to begin with, even in the tough times, even in the most difficult times. The habit of taking apart a small money out of your income first before you start spending it, that is crucial. And so uh, I strongly believe that it is a matter of getting started. Once it gets demonstrated to you, and it will actually, none of my illustration will help, none of my hangout session will actually help you do that till you have done it yourself. Even if you don't get started with your SIP or anything, even if you are able to, if you find mutual funds cumbersome, do your recurring deposit. I don't think SIP is very difficult to get started with. Do it with 500 rupee if you are unable to allocate a large amount of money. And you will think that it is a trivial amount, but it is not a trivial amount, because the impact it will have on you once you see that you have saved 6,000 rupees a year, and once you keep doing it for 3 years and you see the compounding, and you will have that first 18,000 rupees worth of capital that would have appreciated to an extent, and that demonstration to you that here is a money which you didn't have. 500 rupees looked like a meaningless money, and this has translated into something. So your own action translating into something tangible for you, that is one which I think every saver should attempt. Every saver should do it with great sincerity. And this is for you, this is for your future. The definition of investment is postponed consumption. So you postpone a small consumption, not a large consumption, or not a large spending now, and see that money accumulate, and you will realize that the power of compounding will be demonstrated. This is the money that you can realize, and imagine what can happen when you keep doing it for 30-35 years. And those 30-35 years, your working years, are very important, because we are going to live longer given the breakthrough in medical science, and given that superior living conditions we have. Excuse me. These two things, we are going to live longer, and if we are going to retire at 60-65, depends, we have to really provide for as many years we are going to live, as many years as we are going to work. So your working years have to provide for the years that you are going to live, and when you will not work, you will not have income. So only your investments, only your deferred consumption will be at work. So you have to really get very serious about it. It's important. It's not very difficult to get started, and self demonstration is crucial. So get started with your SIP if you haven't started investing from now on, with a small amount of money. It doesn't matter, and then you can devise your roadmap yourself.